Does everybody have this list that I gave you with the terms related to Moshiach? Whoever came here recently surely doesn't have it, but what about those that we had before?
Oh, I think we do.
Let me make 10 copies. We haven't done this in a while, and I think it's very important just to be familiar with the basic concepts that are related to Mashiach. And here you have the terms that we've covered throughout these classes. So before it gets too much, I want to catch up a little bit, go over the terms, and then we'll continue here in the Gemara. So those of you that have it from before, do you want to take out this sheet? It's a list with 56 different terms related to Mashiach. It's like anything else. If you know the language, then you can understand the subject much better. These are like vocabulary terms related to Mashiach. Okay, not everything was covered in class. I'm just going to go over those that we did. Number 4 on the list, Kates. Anyone would like to volunteer and tell us what it means? Yeah? And now how is it in context of Mashiach?
At the end of time.
Right. In other words, in Tanakh, in the books of the prophets, and in the writings of Gemara and Midrashim, when they use the term Kates, it's referring to the end of Geulah when Mashiach comes. That's Kates. In plural, it would be Kitzim, but Kates is a time that's designated for Mashiach to come. Number 5, Kibbutz Goliath. I specifically didn't write the translation because I'm hoping that you'll remember the translation. I just wrote how it spelled out in English. Kibbutz Goliath, number 5. What? Something about exile, okay? Getting warm. What? Not the end.
Is it like a kibbutz, like what you live on, like where all the people are gathered? I don't know, like what it
Oh,
means.
kibbutz, right. It's the same word. You're right.
I guess the same meaning.
Right. But what does it mean in this context?
Is it like we say something and when I say like gather all our people from the 4 corners?
Right. Is that what you wanted to say? Right. Same thing. One of the things Moshiach will do, will gather all the Yidden together and bring them to Eretz Yisrael. In fact, this week, the name of the parsha is Vayakel. Vayakel means Moshe. It's another word in Hebrew for gathering. Moshe gathered all the Yidden together. So in the year 1992, there's actually a historic Sikha from the Rebbe, where I've told you numerous times that the Rebbe not only spoke about the fact that Mashiach's coming is imminent and things are very close, but he also pointed out that there are a number of things that are already happening, and it's part of the process unfolding. So this Shabbos, it was during the week, and Shabbos exactly 30 years ago, when he spoke about the word Vayakel, he said, actually, we are witnessing the beginning of the process of Jews from all over the world coming to Israel, coming to Eretz Yisrael. True, it's not in a complete way. It's only sort of a beginning of the process, But in general, we have Jews coming specifically from that time was when the Soviet Union opened up, and now Jews were able to leave. Before they were locked in, they couldn't leave. It's actually a beginning of that process. So this part of the process of Mashiach is called Kibbutz Golius. English they translate as the ingathering of the exiles. Number 6, Tchias HaMesim.
Resurrection of the dead.
Right. Tchias HaMesim is the resurrection of the dead. So this is also one of the things that will come with Mashiach, that those who passed away will come back to life. Number 7, Higias Mangul Aschem. And in what context is that? Where does it come from? No, you're right, that's a translation of the word. But this is the words are from the Medrash, and these words are famous because these are the words that the Rebbe reiterated numerous times when the Persian Gulf War began, when the crisis began in 1991. The Rebbe said there's a Medrash that describes this very war that's taking place now, and this crisis that's taking place in the Persian Gulf. And the Medrash says, do not be afraid, do not panic. Whatever is happening because it's part of the process of Mashiach. And the terms of Jews is, Igiyaz Mangol Aschem, the time of your redemption has arrived. So these are the words that the Rebbe is quoting from the Medrash, are referring to our times. Again, not only that we're close, but the time has already come, and we're seeing things that are part of the process unfolding. Number 8, Ben David, the son of David. What is that? How could Moshiach be the son of David? David lived over 2,000 years ago. Right, it doesn't mean son, literally means a descendant of King David, but it's another way of referring to Mashiach. Number 9, Becheskas Mashiach. Becheskas Mashiach. So if you were here when we did the Rambam earlier, this is where we had this word, Becheskas Mashiach. The Rambam describes that there's 2 stages. One stage when Mashiach comes, where it's, something is going on that we can refer to it as this person can be assumed as Mashiach. And what is it? When there's certain criteria that he has and that he's doing, that we can know that he's Mashiach. The other term that goes together with this is number 11, Vadei Mashiach. In other words, there's one point where this person is called Becheskas Mashiach, and that means that it's still reversible. It might not happen. It might not come to fruition. Vadei Mashiach means once this person reaches and accomplishes a certain point, building the Beis HaMikdash in its place, then it's irreversible. That means he will carry through this process to fruition, and the Geulah will be completed. So these are 2 very important terms in terms of identifying the person as Mashiach. 9 and 11.
Rabbi Majeski.
Yeah.
What is cheskas? Is that just assumed?
Assume, right. You can assume. It's actually a term that's also found in halacha, that when something goes on, even if you have no witnesses, there's certain circumstances that we can assume that it has a certain status. Let's say, for example, I will just give you an example. Somebody walks over to someone else's house and says, this house belongs to me. What's the halacha? Does it have to go to court? Do we have to deal with it or not? So the halacha is when someone is in possession of something, we assume that it belongs to them, and the burden of proof is on the other person that's trying to change the status quo. So that's what the cheskas means. We assume, even though he has no evidence, the mere fact that he's been living there, so we assume that he is the one who belongs here, and whoever challenges that, they have to bring the proof. That's one example, and there are many other examples. So Cheskes means when we assume something. Number 10, Yaakov Kol Yisrael. We learned about this also. What does it mean? He will compel all the Jews to do what? Right, so it says one of the things Moshiach will do is he'll be engaged in a process of bringing all the Jews to observe Torah and mitzvahs. That's one of the criteria of this person that we can assume that he's Mashiach. Yaakov Kol Yisrael, that he will be involved in bringing Yidden to do Torah mitzvahs. Number 12, Anan Shmaya. I mean, we can just leave it with the English, but I think being that you're in a school and you're learning, this is a place where you're supposed to grow academically, we should be familiar with the Hebrew terms and vocabulary. Anan Shmaya, what does that mean? The word Shmaya should be a good hint.
Is this like we talked about, like if we do Shuvah properly, then Mashiach will come, like something like dramatic, like from Shemayim, and then if not, then he'll come on.
Right, you got it. Anani means cloud. Shemaya means from heaven. There's a verse that says that Mashiach will come on a cloud from heaven, which basically means he'll come in a more miraculous way. Number 14. I'm skipping the ones that we didn't learn yet. 14, Ad Mosai.
Till Mashiach,
Right? What do you mean, till Mashiach?
like until, like I don't know, like they sing it in the song, like until, like, I don't know.
Right. But
Like I can't wait until Mashiach.
right. It means Ad Mosai, how long do we have to wait until Mashiach comes? And what it means is that Hashem is waiting for us to ask for Mashiach. And those words are asking for Mashiach.
So Masa, what is Masa?
Masa
Ad
means-
means until.
Ad means until, Masai when. In Hebrew, if you want to say when is this happening, you say Masai. When will it take place? If you know the song E Masai Ka'asimar, which means when will Mashiach come? Also same word Masai. Number 15, Miyad Hein Nigolin. So this is a term that's found in reference to Tshuva, that the Rambam says Mashiach, before Mashiach comes, we're going to see that the Jewish people, there's going to be a global movement of Tshuva. And Miyad, and right after that, Hein Nigolin, they'll be going out of Golos. So it's referring to the global movement of Tshuva, which will precede going out of Golos. Miyad. Number 16 and 17. Ben Kuziba and Bar Kochba. Who are these people?
Well, I don't think I have that sheet.
No?
Yeah.
I was told maybe Mrs. After we bring more copies. I know there's a problem with the copy machine there, so maybe we got stuck. Anyone know? Yeah?
Bar Kokhba led a revolt during like the second temple destruction period.
Right. And there's another and. Has it related to Mashiach?
Basis hatred.
What?
The basis hatred.
And
Isn't it with the story?
Rabbi Akiva thought he
Yeah.
was Mashiach, but then he got killed.
right. Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
No. Okay. Bar Kokhba had two names. One was Bar Kokhba and one was Ben Kuziba. They called him by both names. So it was the same person. And he was a man that led a revolt against the Romans, a very, very successful revolt. He conquered 60 cities back from the Romans. He was also a tzaddik. He was also a leader. He had the criteria. And Rabbi Akiva and all his colleagues assumed that he was Mashiach of that generation. Thank you. That was quick. Okay. So here's some more copies. Whoever needs, you say you don't have number 16. This is the example of someone who has a criteria, but because the Yidden weren't deserving, it was reversed and it never came to fruition. Yeah.
So we said like Moshiach will either come like on a cloud from heaven or on a donkey. Like, so is it like everyone who believes that the Rebbe is Moshiach, does that mean that like he came like on a donkey, like in a non-miraculous way? Like, does that mean that we didn't do the tshuva right?
Well, I don't want to say we didn't do tshuva right, and maybe it doesn't mean that if Mashiach comes on a donkey means that we're no good. Maybe it means that if we do a certain level of tshuva, something extremely high, then we have a very miraculous way. If not, then it comes in a different way. It could be, that's what it means, could be not. I don't want to condemn the Jewish people. Yes.
Didn't he also not become Moshiach because, like Bar talked about, because he didn't praise Hashem before they won? Or is that a different story?
So when we're talking about Bar Kochba, Ben Kaziba, we're going according to the opinion of Rambam. And according to the opinion of Rambam, the fact that he didn't become a sheikh wasn't because he committed sins, because the Jewish nation committed sins and they weren't deserving of him becoming a sheikh. Number 22, Ani v'reichiv ala chamer. What? Okay, you're right. Once you get the word donkey, you already know the rest. Ani means a poor man, reichiv riding ala chamer, on a donkey. That's the other scenario. Mashiach can come riding on a cloud, or he might come as a simple person riding on a donkey, which metaphorically means he could either come in some sort of miraculous way, or he'll come in some sort of a natural way. Number 23. He nezeh Mashiach ba.
Behold, this is Mashiach.
Right, it's a declaration. Also, the Rabbi used this quote a lot, and the quote is in the Medrash. It's based on a pasuk where it says, "He nezeh ba." Here, he's coming. It's a verse in Shir Hashir, in the Song of Songs. He's coming, and the Medrash says that it's alluding to what has a few interpretations. One of them, it's alluding to the time when Mashiach will come. That prior to his coming, there'll be an announcement. He nezeh Mashiach ba. Mashiach is coming. So the Rebbe always emphasized that announcement is relevant now. Number 24, Olam Haba. What? The world to come. Why is it doing here? This is about Mashiach, because one of the when you say Olam Haba, what is the world to come mean? There's two interpretations. Anyone know which two? Olam Haba. One is when Mashiach comes, it's called Olam Haba. Was the other? What? Gan Eden, referring to when the soul leaves the body and it spends time in a spiritual place, the Garden of Eden, that's called Olam Haba. Number 25, Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi, the third Beis HaMikdash, which is definitely one of the things that are meant to happen and part of what's supposed to happen when Mashiach comes. Number 30, Geulah Tzedakah Shemakareves HaGeulah. Right. Tzedakah is great, which means tzedakah is exceptional, greater than other mitzvahs, because it hastens redemption. Remember, we gave a whole class on the fact that there are certain mitzvahs that they have in them the property to expedite the process of Geulah. And one of them is tzedakah. And that's the phrase. Number 31. Lo yisa goy al goy cherev.
Nations won't fight each other with swords.
Right, except the word is loy, they won't.
I said wrong.
Oh, you said won't. One nation will not lift a sword against another nation. Something very relevant to us right now, where one nation is trying to threaten other nations, and Hashem should help that it should turn out to be peaceful. But one of the things about Moshiach is that not only will it affect the Jewish nation, it'll affect the whole world, that the whole world will be in peace and nations will no longer lift a sword against another nation. 32, Ben Yishai. Yeah,
It's David's father.
right, David's father. So it's another way of referring to King David. Number 34, Chevle Mashiach. Right, very good. The birth pangs of Mashiach. We said that in the Gemara, it draws a parallel that just like a woman who's giving birth goes through labor, so the Jewish people, before the birth of this new era will take place, of Mashiach, will go through a difficult time. Number 36, Umala Haaretz Deas Hashem. So this we learn in the Rambam. The Rambam says when Mashiach comes, the whole world will be filled with knowledge of Hashem. Again, the Jewish nation and the non-Jewish world, everyone will have an unprecedented knowledge of Hashem. And it's based on this verse where it says, and the knowledge of Hashem will fill the world like the ocean fills the ocean bed. Hashem. So this is again, these words are very famous. They're in the Rambam. That's how he finishes. These are the last final words, not only of the laws of Mashiach, but it's actually the last final words of his whole 14 volumes that he wrote. Number 37, Yitaka b'Shofar Gadol. Well, you know what shofar means.
It's going to be like a big sound of the shofar.
Right. That Hashem will blow a big shofar. So I guess big doesn't just mean physically in size. Something will take place that will arouse and inspire Yidden all over the world to come to Eretz Yisrael and do tshuva. And that's one of the things of Mashiach, Yitaka b'Shofar Gadol, to blow the big shofar. Number 38, Vashila Shavtayach K'Varishayna. We say this word actually in Shemon Esrei, in davening. What? Right, that Hashem, when Mashiach comes, Hashem will return to us our judges. Once again, we'll have Sanhedrin, we'll have the system of judges that give a ruling. And then there's another word in the pasuk which means we'll also have prophets once again. Number 41. A long one. Sound familiar? Anybody? I don't believe that nobody in the room knows the meaning of all these words, but I'll trust you. Sarah, yeah.
Like the days took you out of Egypt, something miracles.
Okay, very good. The word something means I will show you. Arena. Hashem says it's a prophecy that when Mashiach comes, just like when you went out of Egypt, you saw incredible miracles. When Mashiach will come, and I will also show you miracles. And again, one of the things that I've pointed to, that the miracles we're seeing today is the beginning of the fulfillment of this prophecy. He referred to the Persian Gulf War, which was miraculous, and the fact that hundreds of thousands of Jews, millions of Jews live differently in Russia today because of communism is no longer there, so that's miraculous. And many other miracles of today is already the beginning of those miracles. Number 45. I know you know the concept, but I'm not sure if you know the term. Kananas al gabe anak.
Oh,
Right.
what is it?
If you know it.
A small one on the back of a huge
What does it mean?
one. Like
A midget on the giant's shoulder. Right. So the Hebrew word for midget is nanas, and the Hebrew word for giant is anak. And the point is, this is the answer to the question, how could we expect that we, who are spiritually inferior to earlier generations, if they couldn't bring Mashiach, how could we? And the answer is, it's like a midget who's so much smaller than the giant, but when the midget is placed on the shoulders of the giant, the midget could see even further than the giant itself, which means when we say we're going to bring Mashiach, it's not because we're better than them, it's because of them. We're actually coming as a continuation of everything they did, and we're just doing the last final touches, and that brings Mashiach. 46, Nitzutz Mashiach. Something we learned very recently. What? Right. And what is the spark of Mashiach in every person? Right. It's the Yechidah. 48, Malchus Beis David. It means the kingdom of David HaMelech, the dynasty of the kingdom of David HaMelech will be renewed when Mashiach comes. There were different kings in the Jewish nation. There were kings that came from different tribes. In the times of Hanukkah, there were kings that came from the Hashmonaim. And then there was King David. So when Mashiach comes, there will no longer be any other kings. The only kingdom will be the kingdom of King David. That will be refreshed, so to speak, reestablished. So in Hebrew, it's called Malchus Beis David, the kingdom of the house of David. Number 49, the Gar, Zayd, and Kevis. Give you a hint. Zayd means a wolf. Right, that's another verse about a lion. This one's about a wolf. And it means that the wolf and the lamb will live together. Generally speaking, wolves are the ones who always attacked sheep. When Mashiach comes, the wolf and the sheep will be on the same team. They'll be getting along.
what's the difference between saying the wolf and the lion?
It's just, there's two psukim, there's two verses.
They probably have different, like, there's a reason why.
Right, right. Obviously, first of all, it also depends on how to interpret the pasuk. When we learned this in class, we spoke about the fact that there's two ways to interpret it. One is literally that these animals will no longer be predators. And the other one is that it represents nations of the world. That the nations of the world that always were predators, so to speak, to the Jewish people, they'll be living in peace together. So maybe some nations are compared to lions, some nations are compared to wolf, and maybe there are differences between the way these animals attack, and maybe it's something along those lines. 52, Sefer Torah Shel Mashiach. Anyone remember that? Well, what is Sefer Torah? And what does it mean, Torah scroll of Mashiach?
Specifically, it merit after.
But what does it mean? That's also true, but that's not what this means.
Right?
What?
We have one. You talked about that?
Yeah. So we said that the previous Rebbe in 1940, actually 41, and then he initiated to write a Torah scroll, and he asked everybody to participate in purchasing the Torah scroll. So everyone is a part of it, and the purpose is this is a Torah scroll with which we'll go greet Mashiach. So that's the Torah scroll that we have today in 770. People refer to it as Mashiach Sefer Torah. That's what it means. Yeah.
What do you mean we're gonna learn a new Torah?
What?
What do you mean we're gonna learn a new Torah? I thought
Chas v'shalom doesn't mean a new Torah, it means new insight in the Torah. It says that it'll be such new insight in the Torah that all the scholars that lived in the past, all the Tanoim, Amoraim, the prophets who their knowledge of Torah was as great as could be, they'll still be learning new insight through Mashiach. Number 53, Achris Hayamim. Somebody used the term before in English. Right. Achris Hayamim means the end of days. When you look in the books of the prophets, you'll find this term often, the end of days. Or another term, which is 54, Bayomahu. What does that mean? In that day. That, which day? When it says just that day without details, it's referring to the time of Mashiach. And finally, 55 and 56, Ve'ita and Achishana. What does that mean? Achishana.
In its time and something.
In its time and something. It's definitely something. That's good. So there's two verses where it says that Hashem will bring Mashiach in its time. And Achishana, number 56, means I will hasten his coming. In other words, the Gemara says, isn't the contradiction? Is there a time for it? Or is it possible to expedite the process? Yeah.
I don't understand the word that you said.
Number 55?
Well, I guess I didn't hear that one too, but 56 that you just said.
Be'ita means in its time. That means there's a designated time that by then Mashiach has to come. And Achishana means I will hasten his coming.
That's the word hasten.
Achishana means to hasten, to make it happen faster, to expedite the process. And the Gemara says that they're both true. If we merit, then Hashem will make him come before any designated time. And if not, he'll still come. There's a designated time when he has to come. But I thought we'd have more time to go into the next part of what we want to learn. We have 5 minutes. Yeah, so let's try to cover something in the Gemara. Do you have your sheets from last time, from Gemara? No. I don't eat it for breakfast or for lunch, but I give out sheets.
I think we need it for dinner. We all eat that together.
Okay, I have some extra sheets here. Some extra sheets, if you can give this out, whoever doesn't have. Right, so we did part of that already. Let me see where we're up to.
And like 98, 81.
We're going to do now 98B4. You should have that sheet, 98B4. We have enough to go around, or we still need more? So you don't have that sheet? You should have it here then.
Oh, it's just it's backwards.
The order is, yeah, because it's the English, the Hebrew.
There's some sticker.
There's more.
We're at 98D4. Let's at least do a few lines. It says like this. We're doing the third paragraph on that page. Rabbi Yehuda said, in the name of Rav, the Holy One, blessed be He, is destined to establish another David for the Jewish people. In other words, King David was our king who lived over 2,000 years ago. And when Mashiach will come, it'll be another King David. As it says, they will serve Hashem their God and David their king. it doesn't say, and David the king that I have established. I will establish in the future. That means that Mashiach will come, his name will also be David, and he'll also be like King David. But it won't be the same person, it'll be a new person who will be the descendant of King David, but with the same name. Then look at the top of the page, where the Gemara asks the question. Rav Papa said to Abaya, isn't there a source that would imply that King David himself will be Mashiach? It says, my servant David will be a prince over them forever. Doesn't that imply that King David himself will be alive at the time and he'll continue to lead us? So the Gemara answers, no, there'll be two Davids. One will be like the emperor and the other will be a half emperor. The commentaries explain what does it mean half emperor. It actually means he'll be like a second in command to the king. We find something similar in the Chumash. Paro was the king of Egypt, and what was Joseph? He was the second in command to the king. So when Mashiach comes, that it's going to be with King David. In general, it's something we need a little bit more time to talk about. But if Mashiach is going to be the king, what's going to happen to all the people in history that had positions of leadership, and especially those who were kings? Does that mean Mashiach comes, they're going to be demoted? They're going to become less than what they were during their lifetime? It doesn't make sense. These were tzaddikim. And they were leaders in so many generations. Rambam was a leader in his generation. Rashi was a leader in his generation. And every generation, there were, actually throughout the years, there were tens and thousands of different rabbis and sages and leaders, maybe not the whole generation, but leaders of communities. What's going to happen with all these people? So to make a long story short, because the clock is not letting me make a short story long, the answer is, and we'll go into it more maybe in the next class, is that every leader will continue to be a leader. In fact, he'll be leading his community that he led during his lifetime. So let's say Shlomo HaMelech was a king during his lifetime. All those people will be brought back to life. He himself will be back to life. And he will continue to have leadership over all these people. But then Mashiach will be the leader of all the leaders. Similar to what we had in the desert. There were 12 tribes, right? Each tribe had a leader called a Nasi. But what was Moshe's position? Moshe was the leader of all the leaders. But each one was a leader over 60, 70, or 80,000 people. And then Moshe was the leader of all the leaders. And it'll all be united, not in a way that it's splintered or the other is in conflict. Yeah.
If the leader of our generation is Moshiach, if Moshiach is the leader of our generation, then who's going to be our leader? Is Moshiach going to be for us and for everyone, or?
Right. I think the same question came up in the desert. Who was the leader of the tribe of Levi? And I think it says Moshe was the leader of the tribe of Levi, and at the same time, he was the leader of all the other leaders of all the other tribes. Okay, to be continued. This is a point which is interesting to talk about, and hopefully the next time, if we don't forget, we'll go into it in more detail.
Rabbi Majeski.
Yeah.
I know this is a little scandalous, so let me know.
Before you say the scandalous thing, I just want to say, I know we've been saying Tillim for a child of one of our students. I mean, Baruch Hashem, they did whatever they did, but he's going to have to go through surgery today at 12:30. I'm going to put something on so anyone who can join, say Tillim that the surgery should be successful. His name is Chaim Yecheskel Yehuda Leib Ben Sigal, one of our former students. Yes.
Like I can't say something scandalous after that. We want to hear the scandalous.
That's so terrible.
Okay, so I say scandalous. Did you say if like at the beginning of the year that if we asked about it to ask you like outside the class, but the class is over, so now it's outside the class. How is it that